Good afternoon, all. Am I audible? Can you see my screen? Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar on cloud computing with AWS and Azure. Can I get some response in the chat box? Please keep this session interactive. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And so, before starting a session on cloud computing, can I just get a simple response from your side? So, what is cloud computing from your understanding? Any definitions which you can tell in 2 or 3 lines about cloud computing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. So, what is cloud computing? Any definitions? Good afternoon. So, what is cloud computing? Any answers? So this is actually a definition which is given by AWS. Okay, yeah, sharing resources, but a proper definition, if you want to give, you can define it in this way. This is actually from AWS. So what's the definition is cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. So let me split it into parts and give you an example with the help of Google Drive. Okay, everyone is using cloud computing or cloud options now. So one common example is Google Drive. So in Drive you have some 15 GB of free storage, right? So that is free storage. You will be storing your files, photos, videos, what all stuffs you have. You will be uploading it there. You will be making use of that storage via the internet. You are storing it in some place. That is cloud. Okay, and what if that 15 GB free is gone? Okay, that's full. You have stored for entire 15 GB. Okay, so what happens is if you want more storage, if you want to increase it, they'll ask you to pay. For example, if I need 10 more GB, then they'll ask me to pay every month additional charges for it. So that's what cloud computing is. So cloud computing is the on demand. Whenever I have a demand, okay, for which like IT resources, which can be server, which can be storage options, okay, and additional supports and all, I can get it through the internet with pay as you go pricing. Means if you want, you will be availing it. So what you are obtaining, you will be paying for it. Okay, it's like a rent. You have to pay for what you use. Clear about what is cloud computing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon all. Is it clear about what is cloud computing? So what is the opposite of cloud computing? Any idea what is the opposite of cloud computing is? So the opposite of cloud computing is on-premises, okay, which means instead of you storing it in the cloud, if you store the things in your laptop itself, in your hardware itself, that is on-premises storage. So what is the need of cloud computing? You guys can ask me, okay, so IT resources, that and all, fine. So if I want to tell you what's the need for having cloud, or if you want to opt for it, what's the need? I used to tell it with a simple example. So consider this scenario: you are an entrepreneur and you are going to build a web application with your team. Okay, so you will be you will be collecting your team of developers. They will be deploying a web application. So for deploying this, what you initially plan it, you need to build something like a e-commerce website like Flipkart and something like our Amazon. You are planning to build something like that. So what you are doing is you are building your team. So this is like you will be having developers, testers, you have your team for handling your application, creating it and all. But your company is deploying it in their physical server. Okay, on premises they have our server. So what is this server? What is this box? Okay, so this server is nothing but it's like a computer. Okay, so it has a CPU, it has a RAM, it has HDD, SSD, it has a motherboard, it has a power supply, it has an internet supply, it has cooling system, it has GPU. So why it requires is it. Okay, so it only run your web application which you described here. Okay, for the application to run, you want to make your code available. Okay, it should have a proper database maintained. Okay, so everything should be managed, right? For that we need this servers, and you are preferring your physical server, and your company is going smooth. People are buying, and it's not a famous site. Your site, people are buying and going, and it was going good. At one time, what you have done is you have announced a big billion sale, something like that. Okay, great Indian sale or big billion sale. So what happens is suddenly in that particular period of time the load increases to your site. The number of people visiting your site is increased. You would have experienced this when you try to book something in the IRCTC website in the Tatkal method and all. When you go at that 11 a.m. you can't able to view that site properly, right? Because the server will have some load capacity. So when the server can't handle it, because this CPU will have some capacity, RAM will be some, for example, like 12 GB, something like that. So all these physical component will have some like limitations to it. Okay, so when this exceeds, your server can't able to properly show the application to the users. So what happens is, now to handle this, what you are doing is you are going to you need to buy further more servers. Okay, so what you have done is you have bought 3 more servers. Now you have a 4 server. Okay, just imagine, like we don't know what's the exact configuration, so you have multiplied the count or increased the count. So now when does when the load goes high, your application it goes smoothly, people can use it properly. After that, okay, when the big billion sale ends, okay, what happens is once again your number of users is going down. Okay, it goes to normal. So at that time, okay, all these 4 won't be having that much work. So only one will be running functionally, the remaining 3 will be out of use. For example, in the entire year, if you have 1 month of high load and remaining 11 month of not that much load, at that 11 month you can't just leave it empty. Okay, so you have to maintain it. You need to properly maintain those things. You have to spend for it. Likewise, what if your load goes beyond that 4 servers? Now what to do? You have to increase the count once again, right? So you will be buying further more servers, and then once again, what if the load goes down? So this is actually a disadvantage of the on-premises storage. Okay, that's a disadvantage. So the thing is, see here, this is a graph. Over a period of time, we can see the load may be high, or it may be very high, or it may be low. It can go drastically low, but when it goes low, okay, you need to still maintain it, and when it goes high, you need to buy furthermore infrastructure. So to handle this, you can go and opt for cloud computing or cloud resource, not only storage. Ignore this, like cloud storage and cloud server and all. When you go and avail that, when my load is high here, I'll be getting that much capacity, so I'll be paying for that only. So when my load goes low, what I'll do is I'll just ignore it. Okay, I'll go for some low end configurations. I will be paying less. When my load goes this much high, okay, then obviously I'll be paying a lot at that particular time only. So my task of handling all these servers, maintaining it and all, everything goes down. So it will be managed by the cloud service provider, and I can be relaxed, right? So that's what the idea behind cloud computing is. So now your company, what they do is they are now utilizing cloud for everything. Okay, cloud means it is stored. Okay, data should be stored, or everything, there should be one physical server, and instead of you having it, the company service provider, right, like AWS or Azure, they will be having all these servers collected in their particular data center. Okay, so it's a place where they have their data center. So through internet they will be providing it to you, and you will be availing it through the internet. This is the pathway for it. And is it clear about what's the advantage of cloud storage and what's the disadvantage of on-premises storage? Is it clear? Yeah. So continuing with that, we can go and see about the types of cloud services. So talking about cloud services is defined into three parts, and this single image can help you to understand what it is. Okay, so we have this first one, which is not a cloud, it is on premise, which means this one. Okay, I am having it on my side, and this sky blue color or this blue color is things managed by you, and red color is the things managed by the service provider or the vendor. So in on-premises storage, if I want to run my application, I want to take care of the networking, I want to take care of the storage, I want to take care of the server, I have to take care of the virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, and then my application. Everything is my part. If I go and use infrastructure as a service, it's actually a type of cloud service. It's called as infrastructure as a service, and their task is they'll provide infrastructure only. So what they'll do is the cloud service provider will take care of networking, they'll take care of storage, they'll take care of servers, they'll take care of virtualization. So what you need to do is just rent it and then install your OS, install your application, and then run your application. That is your task. And then we have another type, which is platform as a service, PaaS. Okay, here all these things will be managed by the service provider, like networking, storage, even the OS, runtime and all, they will be handling it. Your task is to, if you have your application, just deploy that code there, so that will be functional globally. Okay, so that is what called as platform as a service. They'll provide the platform, you need to take care of your application. Finally, we have something known as software as a service, which means they'll take care of everything. They'll provide the software also, you just want to configure and use it. Clear about the types of cloud service? We have infrastructure as a service, where they'll provide the infrastructure and you are responsible for installing OS. It could be of whichever type you want, you can install and maintain it. Configuration, auto scaling, load balancing and all, your task. And if you go for platform as a service, they will provide the entire platform. Your task is to configure the code and run your application. And if you go for software as a service, the entire software is provided by them. You just want to use that software as a service. So like these are some of the leading cloud service providers. Like you would have heard about Google Cloud Platform, AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. We have Microsoft Azure, and we have IBM Cloud, and we have a lot more. Okay, in lot of field, we have a lot of leading cloud service providers. And for example, consider AWS. They provide a lot of service, and each service have a different application, and these service will be like either it will be an infrastructure as a service, it will be a platform as a service, it will be a software as a service. They provide a combination of everything. Is it clear about the types of service? Can we deep dive into AWS? Can I get some response? Can you guys just repeat the thing in the chat box? Can you guys type what is the different types of cloud computing, cloud services, different types. Just this short abbreviation is enough. Can you guys post that down in chat box? Waiting for your response. Yes, IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service and software as a service, right? So in this particular session I will be discussing about two important things. One is Amazon Web Services and another one is Azure, Microsoft Azure. So we'll kickstart with Amazon Web Services. So in 2006, Amazon Web Services or AWS began offering IT infrastructure. You know, Amazon group of companies, they have kickstarted it for providing IT infrastructure services to business as web service, which is now called as cloud service. And today AWS provides a highly reliable, scalable, low cost infrastructure in the cloud, and that powers hundreds of thousands of business in 190 countries across the world. And these are some of the names of the service which they provide. It could be like EC2, it could be Lambda, Elastic Container Service, SES, and a lot more is available. You have for server, for database, and a lot more is available for storage and all. Okay, so why AWS? And AWS is one of the leading cloud service provider. They provide a lot of services, reliable, secure, and cost effective. You can go global in minutes, and comprehensive services for the entire IT workflow. For example, I wish to start with AWS. I'll go. This is the AWS homepage console. If you have your account, this is what AWS looks like. Have you guys, anyone have any experience with AWS? Anyone used it before? So here I wish to show you guys about this service, which is EC2. Okay, it's called as virtual service in the cloud. So this is actually infrastructure as a service. So they will be taking care of the infrastructure. You have to take care of your OS and application. For example, let me first create a Linux and then a Windows server. So for example, I can go into that and launch an instance. Okay, so I can give a name for it like server 1. Here you guys can see that, and once again when you use AWS you have to pay for it. Okay, and there are some free tier options. If you go and particularly use that free tier options, in some services you can go without paying any cost. Otherwise, if whatever things you use, you have to pay for it. So if you are practicing it, then I suggest you to learn it properly, and then know that if something goes wrong you may have to pay a lot for it. So you have to be responsible in that part. So I'll just give you about that. So here I can select either if I want Amazon Linux or Mac OS. This is the OS part I am selecting. So Windows, etc. First we'll go with Linux. From Amazon you can also choose Ubuntu. Scroll below, this is the capacity, whether you want which type of CPU and memory you require. You have a large and large CPU versions. I'll go with the minimal version, and this is for security purpose. I'll select one of the key pair which I have. We'll allow HTTP traffic. This is where the traffic firewall security group and all, we will be attaching it here. And this is the storage option. Okay, so I'll go with this base version 8 GB of storage for my server to run. So I can launch this instance. Okay, so it has been launched now. You could see this is kickstarted, this server 1. Yeah, we could see that it is running. So I can connect to this. I have asked for Amazon Linux, right? So this is what the Amazon Linux. Could you guys see this? So it's establishing the connection, and this is actually Linux. Do you guys know any of the Linux commands? You can post down that in the chat box. So this is Linux. I can use it. For example, if you go with ls, it will just show you guys a list of things in that particular folder. We don't have anything here, so I can make a directory with mkdir, make a folder in the name data. So if I go with ls now, I have this folder of data. I can move inside of it with cd, which is change directory, and move into data. Okay, so like that, here you can create files. For example, if I want to create app.py, okay, so now I have this file. I can also use a virtual editor, then call this particular file to run. Okay, I can write my code here. So all these things can be done. Okay, so this is a Linux environment. So you can deploy your web applications here. For example, I'll use Apache server, and it's actually a web server. So I'll integrate it and run a sample application for you guys. So for that, you have to start with yum install httpd. Okay, sudo super user yum install httpd. Yes, install it. System control start httpd system control enable httpd. Okay, so now this public IP should show that Apache sample, which should tell us it works. Okay, so this you can also check it. I'll post this down in the chat box. Can you guys try it? If you open it now, my server is running, so you can get this particular page of it works. Can you guys try that and update me whether it's opening for you guys? That's what the word here. You can go global in minutes with cloud computing. Okay, so you will be getting this particular thing if you use that site now. Right now I am running my server is running, so you can get that. Can you guys update it? Anyone tried it? Can you guys view this page? Yes. What about others? Have anyone else tried it? Whether it's working or not? Yes. So now I'll stop this server. Okay. So when I stop it, you can't view it because I am deleting that server. I'll terminate this instance. So that will actually terminate my site also. So it won't be working right now. It will be cut off. Okay. So this is how you can go global in minutes, create your server where you can run your application. Okay, you can also create your Windows instance. This is actually infrastructure as a service to deploy application. later on I'll show you a platform as a service where they'll take care of everything. You just need to take care of your code. I'll show you that also. Okay, please wait. Before that, we'll launch a Windows instance also. And I have to select Windows here. And we can go for this particular thing. We'll launch this instance. Okay, we need that anyway. So the instance is kickstarting. Not only this, you have a wide range of services including AI services, database, storage. I'll show you guys one by one. If time permits, we also need to see about Azure. We haven't seen the introduction to. We'll do it. And do any of you guys have any idea about Flask or Django from Python? So I can connect to this. So you can use this RDP client. And we need to get some password. Yeah, we still have time to do it. So now I'm connecting to my Windows from Amazon Web Services. So it is actually running in the media player, and I hope you guys could see this. It is kickstarting my Windows, which is new, which I have rented from the AWS EC2 instance, right? Can you guys see this? It is actually kickstarting. It will take some time to show you the home page. Okay, so this is our Windows from EC2. You could see that it is running in the media player using remote desktop protocol. So you could access this. You have a Microsoft Edge here where you can download your applications. Okay, so you can search and install any applications and run your things here. So that's how you can use Windows also from EC2 with the help of EC2 and AWS. Okay, so this is infrastructure as a service. You also have a service which is called as Elastic Beanstalk. Okay, so it is platform as a service. So run and manage web application. If you have your web application code, instead of you managing everything, they'll manage everything. You just need your code and run it. So that is actually the second type, which is platform as a service. Okay, this one, platform as a service. First we have used infrastructure where we have handled the OS and all. Now they will be taking care of everything. You just need to give your code. So I'll do that with we'll create application and we'll give some name, sample app. Okay, and you have to select which platform it is. I need Python. You can select the versions also here, and you can upload your particular code. Okay, so I should be providing the code. Please wait, I'll select this. Okay, I have selected a Flask sample application which I have created. I'll go with a name and then we can go to next. And they provide a lot of configuration part for you guys to do, so you could configure a lot of things based on your particular requirement. You can utilize it for your things to run. Okay, furthermore they will provide a lot of steps where those are optional. So when you actually really want to run application, you can utilize this to configure the traffic, scaling, monitoring, logging, database, networking and all. So once you finally have it, you can submit it. I'm just deployed my code here. I have just stored it in a zip file and then added it here. Okay, so this should kickstart things. See here, it is trying to deploy my application. If everything is successful, you can get your domain name with the help of AWS, which will be running the web application. Clear? So we'll wait for this to wind up. This will take some time, and I'll also, in the meantime, when it completes, we can see some other services. Like I'll show you guys some service like EFS. I'll tell you guys some demo. We can't go hands-on for everything. This is elastic file system. It's a file storage. If you attach it, you have to mount it. So for example, if two servers are mounted the same EFS, they both share the common storage. Okay, you can have a common ground if you have if you want anything to be common storage for both of these developers. You could avail these with the help of EFS. It's a file system storage. Okay, so it connects through the NFS mode, network file sharing. Okay, in the meantime, if you want object storage, you could use S3. I hope when you hear about AWS, one of the important services called as S3, where we have to create a bucket. Okay, like bucket is something like a folder where you could upload things. For example, if you want to add any file, it could be like okay, it could be any folders. Okay, or it could be any of the files you have, photos, images, anything can be uploaded here. So it can be stored and you could get your URL and access it anywhere. That's the idea behind S3. And talking about relational database, you also have relational database. You could use this RDS, which is called as Amazon Relational Database Service, where you could create database, and this database will be like you can select something from AWS, which is Aurora. You could also get Aurora for PostgreSQL compatible, for MySQL compatible, for MySQL itself, Myriad database, Postgres database, Oracle DB and Microsoft SQL Server. You could select this option and avail this, that is RDS. Okay, so in the meantime, this has been running, and with the help of Python Flask, I have integrated a bootstrap template which is running in this domain name. So can you guys try this? If I post this link, you will also get this particular website running in this particular domain name. So we have just submitted our code file which is written on Python Flask. Okay, you guys could see that I have posted that down in the chat box. Sample app 3 HTTP. So you could access this bootstrap template integrated with the help of Python Flask. Can you guys try it? So that's and in the meantime, RDS is for relational database, which is written on my written with the help of SQL language, structured database. Okay. Similarly, for semi-structured data, you have Dynamo DB. Okay, Dynamo DB, which is actually a NoSQL database. This is for semi-structured data. Okay, which is not in the regular format of SQL database. You have a NoSQL database, which is Amazon Dynamo DB. Also, you have a lot of interesting AI services from AWS. It will be really interesting. You could see something like okay, these are some of the AI services. For example, if I use this recognition, It is actually for image based tasks. Okay, you could try a demo. So if you upload your image, what it will do is it will predict and detect what all things available, their percentage it will give. Okay, this is some sample image. If you pass it, it is giving you what is the details about it. For example, if you have an image, let me search for an image. In the meantime, can you guys update me whether that site is running? Can you guys confirm whether the site is running or not? Okay, here I have some sample image. For example, if I add this particular image, so it is automatically detecting the ball here. Football has been played, soccer, so their details has been given here. Can you guys see this? And their respective stamp is also given. Can you guys update me whether this site is running or not? So if it's running, I could stop it. If the demo is okay, I can terminate that. Anyone? Can anyone update that? I have posted that link in the chat box. This will be globally accessible. You could try it. So this is a label detection option. You also have image properties. Yeah, it's available, right? So if it's available, then it's successful. So for now, I'll just terminate or remove this. So you could apply, upload and deploy with the help of any other services too. Like not only Python, you can do it with Java, .NET. Okay. Anything can be done. Not only Flask, Django can also be used. If you have it, you can check their documentation on what's the procedure to build and develop for deploying in Elastic Beanstalk. Remember the name, it is platform as a service. Okay. Now for software as a service, these are software as a service. They are providing the software itself, we are directly using it. See here guys. So this is for color detection. Okay. For facial analysis, you have, if you upload an image, that will tell you guys what's this face look like, what's the age range and all. Okay, you could upload your own image and check that too. So see here the details about the face. You can also compare two faces, whether the both face in that two image are same or not. For example, this is one image of RDJ and this is another image of RDJ. Let us check whether both are same person. Okay, we could see that it is 98% the same person. That's the same person. If you upload some other image, we could match between these two also. So we could find that these two are different persons. So it is detecting from the face features. Okay. So like that, you also have a celebrity recognition. If you upload any celebrity photo, so it will detect who it is. Okay, what's the confidence level. So you could also get extract text from images with text in image. You can also get this PPE detection. You also have video analysis. You could upload a video. So in that particular video, I have another video of here Virat Kohli scoring a century. So it is detecting celebrity, which is Virat Kohli in this video. Okay, so where it is detected, see here the timestamp of Virat Kohli detected. Okay, and the objects. For example, playing cricket is detected in these parts. This part is detected as cricket in this image. Okay, so we could see a tattoo here. I'll remove this tattoo alone. So see, we could see that it has detected this part in the video. And this is how, if you have a video also, you can upload that. Okay, so that's how they provide this is for image. Like that, you have a lot of AI services for different applications too. So that's it about AWS. I hope we had seen about IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. Also skipping towards a lot more AWS services are available for microservices, for containers and all. So you could check that. So moving towards Microsoft Azure. So they are also a leading cloud service provider. And Azure is Microsoft's comprehensive cloud computing platform that provides a wide array of services and tools for building, deploying and managing applications and services through Microsoft managed data centers. So Azure uses Microsoft's data center, and the Azure cloud platform is more than 200 products and cloud services designed to build, run and manage applications across multiple cloud on premises at the edge. They provide a lot of services for mobile, for DevOps, for application building, for database, for analytics, for security, for infrastructure. They have their own virtual machines which is easy to like that in Azure. So with the help of Azure you could also create your Linux or Windows, and they'll provide they'll have their different charges. You need to compare and then decide what you are going to opt for your company. So if you ask me which is best, Azure or AWS, both are best. Okay, so for your particular application you have to select and find the cost from both and decide based on what's your requirement, and it depends on the specific requirement, business need and preferences, and factors like pricing, services, integration, support. Okay, familiarity also plays a major role in decision making process. So Azure has a region, which means a collection of data centers. So data centers, remember, they'll store the servers, right? So they'll be having multiple data centers like a copy. So if one data center goes down, another one will have your data. So it is called as a region. This is a multiple data center is called as a availability zone, and a collection of availability zones are called as a region. And these are the regions which is available globally with Azure. Okay, the place of it. And you could also explore their data center virtually. I'll show you guys. You could also create your account. You could get 12 months of free tier, and you will be getting a 13,300 credit in your account, which you can use in the first 30 days. And yeah, you could also set your budgets and you can use it with a lot of services. For example, this is Azure's homepage where a lot of services is available. Like AWS, you can configure and use it. They also provide infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. You could also explore this Azure 3D data center. If you type that, they have created a 3D model and the cloud in the browser itself. You could see that. You could start exploring it. So this is how it looks like, a data center we discussed, right, for managing your server. So they have a lobby. So this is how the lobby look like, where they'll have the security credentials verification, so others can't go inside. Security is an important thing, right? So then you could enter into the operational room where they'll have the analytics of how everything is going on. Planning and all will be happening at that room. So this is how that will look like in a data center with things going on. And then we'll move into the mechanical area, and I just want to show you guys about the server room. After this it comes. So this is the server room. Okay, it's the heart of the any data center. So this is where they have kept their physical server. So these are all the servers. Okay, see here it is integrated with power supply, memory, cooling systems and all. So they are providing it through internet and you are using it. Okay, so you could explore this site also, and you also have other particular places which you can explore. So that's it about this webinar on cloud computing with AWS and Azure. Any doubts which we want to discuss? Any doubts? Thank you for your comments. Any doubts which you want to discuss? Yes. So that's it. Thank you. Thanks for watching.